I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you. I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today. But when it's cold in the dead of winter, remember that snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt on our clothes. Hey, my friend, we'll never say
on. Okay, we should be live with the mic now. Man, welcome in. I'm Spuddy, and we in the Cajun cooking experience. And tonight we're cooking a lot of people. This is their favorite dish, and it's so easy to cook. Dirty rice, rice dressing, Cajun rice, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is going to be a good dish. So we're going to talk more about where this came from. John J. found me. Yes, indeed. Mildred, hello. And we're going to start off with a little onions on this. And we're going to talk more about this dish and where it came from. Where you at, Ricky? Okay. So there's many ways you can cook this. We're going to do this the way that I like to cook dirty rice or jambalaya. And that's adding the water and adding the rice after the water. What you say, Lucy? So, but there's other ways you can cook it. If you want to cook the grind meat on the side, cook the rice in your rice pot and blend them all together, you can do that. We actually used to do that when we were at the Knights of Columbus, when I first started cooking for them. And you know, it was chaos. You were plugging in rice cookers to old buildings, breakers were tripping, you were cooking the meat off site, but they would get it done. They were moving 500 meals like this. Now, cooking it this way, we move 1,500, 1,600 meals when we do this twice a year. Hey, Roy. Yes, indeed, dirty rice. This is Dr. Baptiste under John Day. Where you at, Dr. Baptiste? All right, my brother. Man, we had a good talk this week, and glad to see you. Glad to see you jumped in. Okay. Now we're just gonna cook these onions down. This is how we're gonna build up color. This is where we're gonna get that good sweetness out those onions. Cook them down, let them cook long and hard. Let them cook. And you're gonna get that sweetness out those onions, that brown. Cooking the stainless steel tonight? I am. I did it tonight. I had the black iron pot, but you know what, Rick, I decided you can see really good in this pot. You can do it in either one. Not gonna lie to you, black iron pot will do a better job, but it's what really. Hey, John, what's happening? All right. Hello, Amber. So John Steaks came over. I got my new ice machine from him. Really good people at Blanchard's, in case you're looking for something like that or refrigeration. And man, they came over here and hooked it up, and he saw my studio and he said, man, we're gonna watch. And he even checked up on me because I wasn't here the last 2 weeks, make sure everything was okay. All right, Mike. So, man, I appreciate that, John. Hey, Bobby, what's happening, brother? So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just keep on cooking these onions down. So, where does this come from? These different names. What is dirty rice? Dirty rice, Cajun rice could be the same thing. So, the reason why they call it dirty Cajun rice today, and Cajun rice can go either way, let me tell you why. Cajun sells. In the commercial market, Cajun sells. So everybody wants to be Cajun. Everybody wants to have on their bulletin board a Cajun dish. especially if you're in a high tourist area. Man, this is everybody's dish. Cajun, African, German, French, Spanish, it doesn't matter. Hey, Lona, Steve Hearn is tuning in from Australia. All right, Steve, thank you for tuning in, my brother. But my son just bought me some nasty Chinese coffee. Oh, Bobby, I don't even know what to say, man. Oh, my goodness. Still got to love him, though. So you take this Cajun rice. It could be either the rice dressing that we cook, or it could be the dirty rice that was cooked in the plantations. Where dirty rice came from, that was cooked in the plantations by the enslaved people. Head of the house gets all the good stuff. As the pieces of meat move down, the poor people and enslaved people got the scrap. So you'd have had stuff like the innards. You'd have had the stuff like the heart, the gizzards, the livers, kidneys. You'd have had all this stuff going into your rice. And that, to me, that's one of your first soul food dishes, because you're taking all these innards that nobody else wants, mixing it with rice, with some other greens out of the gardens that they can have, and turning it into a really good dish. All these meals like this that were cooked with all the trash of the hog or the trash of the cow, trash of the chicken, guess what? They are all hot right now because everybody wants it, because this is where the flavor's at, which also driven the price up. First went in the business 32 years ago. Guess what? Couldn't even tell. I couldn't sell trash stuff like the gizzards and all. Just the poor people bought it. Now everybody wants it, and the price is going sky high. Mike, my screen is clocking. Oh, I don't know what that means. Oh, you're spiraling. That could be your internet service. So, Lucy, there's no gizzards, Lucy, I promise. Hey, Geraldine, thank you, Evan. Appreciate that. Ricky, the Luster JC's got a few major dirty rice cooks. Yes, they do. You got that right. We have some awesome cooks in St. James Parish, and then also in St. John Parish. Of course, I'm a little biased. St. James Parish is going to be the best. And but a lot of good dirty rice cookers. And I'm glad you talked about Lutcher. East Bank of the River. They're all going to have a mushroom gravy or some kind of gravy to put over their dirty rice. West Bank of the River, not so. We don't ever use a gravy. It would be good. Don't get me wrong. I would like the gravy, but it's not mandatory. If you go across the river, you cook a dirty rice, you pretty much have to have a gravy. And that just gives it a little extra flavor. Makes it a little bit more juicy, you know? Okay. And we're going to keep on working these onions. And I'll start bringing some of the other vegetables in. And y'all know I like my mushrooms. All right. My computer's having issues over here. Something to do with it. So if anybody's having trouble on Facebook, that's what it's telling me. You may want to go ahead and go to YouTube. Facebook has been kind of picky with everything. I still want that spoon you cook with, man. This spoon can talk, brother. Man, this spoon can tell some story. What'd you say, Claude? All right. So we're just going to let all this cook down. Now, let me tell you about the beef. I use beef and pork. My meat is already seasoned because I keep I vacuum pack some in my freezer all the time. I grind my own meat. I'll tell you how to pick a good meat if you're going to make your own, if it's already ground. This is beef and pork. I'll use 70% beef, 30% pork. I'll go and I'll buy like a sirloin roast. Sirloin roast is going to be pretty lean. It's going to be a choice piece of meat, so it's going to be marbled, okay? But it's still going to be pretty lean. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and mix a little maybe Boston butt with it. What I did, you get some big cushion meat. The Boston butt will work good. The cushion meat's got a little layer of fat. They gave me a little fat in my meat. I like my meat pretty lean, so I'm okay with that. You want to get a little fat in it, put a little Boston butt in it. Mike, I lost you on Facebook channel. I have to catch up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but if you lost it on Facebook, go to YouTube, Spuddy's Cajun Foods. And you will pick me up there and get a better picture. All right, man, we're starting to get a little color in there now. Let's bring that camera down. Let's bring those cameras down right here. And man, we're starting to get a little color in this pot, and this is what we want. Got to build that little gravy. Now, don't get me wrong. When we're cooking the beef, you're going to get gravy out of this beef. But I'm giving it a little head start. And when you take your time and cook these seasonings down, you're bringing out some good flavors in these seasonings. Now, my stock tonight, I took my Boston butt bones and I smoke them. After I debone them, I smoke them. I boiled that in my stock with some vegetables. So I made me like a bouillon. So this water, this stock already has a little smoke flavor. So I won't have to bring any andouille or any or tasso or anything in here. I could, but I don't want them little chunks in there. I'd rather just real smooth. Hey, Tiffany, thank you, Tiff. Okay. And you can see the brown building up on the bottom of this pot. And this is one good thing about this is that you're going to see your colors building this stainless steel pot better than you can see it in the cast iron. Does the YouTube feed have a smell-o-vision? You got it, David. You got to have, that's a subscription. That's the subscription part of my channel. You got to subscribe to Smell-O-Vision. Which part works best, cast iron or Magnalite? Cast iron, always. This is the stainless steel pot. Magnalite is aluminum. I stay away from aluminum pots anytime I have to do this. Especially if you're going to make gravies or you're going to make like a tomato gravy or something, stay away from the aluminum pots. I just try to stay away from them altogether. But if you got some good Magnalite pots, go ahead and use them. You can make a dirty rice. You can make your rice dressing in here, okay? But you're going to do better in your cast iron pot. All right, Mark, I can start now. Thank you, brother. Hey, Barbara, what you say, neighbor? Oh, Tiffany, this is the good pot, yeah. This pot, if you want to know, it's a ball rat pot. Very expensive. You're going to pay for it. I've been having this pot about 20 years. You can't destroy them. You can't mess them up. So these are good pots. You pay for what you get. And in the commercial world, I ruined a lot of aluminum pots. This thing is like a tank. I can't mess it up. So now we're starting to get some good color into our onions. Man, that sweetness. You know, when you go get a hot dog and you want some grilled onions in that hot dog, this is what you get. You get that color out. And this is what you want. You want that flavor. So what makes us come into wanting to cook mixed meat and rice together? Well, number one, we grow a lot of rice out here. One time, this was big rice country. Where I live out on Simon Drive, that was some really blackjack, low land. But guess what? That was a lot of rice in that area. So we had rice and sugar canes. At one time, people had there were many rice quotas in this area. And where we have industry now. Do you shred the smoked roast after it's cooking? Hey, buddy, do you shred the smoked roast after it's cooking? So if I don't put any roast in here, Glenn, but if I had it in here, yes, I would have to shred it apart if you're going to cook the roast down. If I cook me a smoked roast, and I like to shred it apart because I always like the pulled beef or the pulled pork to make the sandwiches. What'd you say, Keith? Oh, Kirk Brady, what's happening, brother? Man, look, one day, Kirk, I need people like you and Buggy Lamont to come on my show to teach me what to do. Man, I'm struggling over here, brother. And hey, Sharon, well, my St. Rose buddy. And in case anybody doesn't know, Kirk Brady, he's the man that helped me a lot of my business when I started. And I never forget that. And our partner, Buggy Lamont, taught me how to cook jambalaya. You see, I was born and raised in the East Bank. I live in the West Bank, and I love both banks. And I love the people. You got to share the love. All right, now let's take a peek in this pot. If my clicker stop getting attitude, you can see the brown in here. Watch when I bring this up. And you're starting to see the color in this gravy, okay? And this is what we want. All right, let's get back. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and bring my bell peppers in. Now I'm getting ready to put that meat in there. Hey, Pam, don't forget that it's a good wooden spoon. So, thank you, Pam. It's all about the wood spoon. I had 2 people give me wood spoons. Pam was one. Pam gave me my first one. I beat the hell out of this thing. This thing has some high miles, Pam. So I bought another one, and this was given to me, sent to me by Ronald Luke. Same spoon, same company. So both of them the same, but I put a lot of miles in this, but Pam, I still use it. And the reason why Pam bought me a spoon is because when I first started my show, I was using these metal spoons, and I was making a roux, and they couldn't hear me. So she bought me a spoon so I could be quiet. All right, what's up, Jeremy? And the student has become the master. All right, Mike. You have sweet peppers on the ready to stuff with the extra. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. You could take this dirty rice, cook it, and actually stuff in the bell peppers. You can stuff this and make some really awesome bell peppers. What's up, Roland? Just tuned in from Turkey Creek in Windsor with cousins and brother-in-law. I thought you were saying Turtle Creek. That would be in St. Rose. That'd be Turtle Pond. All right, Roland. Good to have you on, brother. All right. Now, I'm going to bring livers in here. No, I'm ready to bring it yet. I want to bring some. I have chicken livers. What I'm going to do when I start bringing my livers in, I'm going to bring them in a little bit at a time, because you have to be careful that the livers don't overpower your dirty rice. I don't know if these livers came off of young chickens, older chickens, hens, some real old chickens. So I don't know how strong they are. So bring them in a little bit at a time, taste, and you can always keep adding, because you can't overcook this meat. You can never cook it too long. All right, here we go. We're going to bring that beef in. And it's beef and pork. Remember, I have it seasoned already. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I have 4 cups of rice. That's basically a 1 3/4 pound of rice. I'm going to bring in 2.5 pounds of the beef and pork. I like to use 1.5 to 2 times the amount of meat in it, but the least you use is 1 to 1. A pound of rice to a pound of beef. Now, I've got a lot of vegetables in here, but it's the way I like it. Believe me, you don't need as much as I have. All right, Kim. And this meat, once I get it broken up, and when we do those big Knights of Columbus jobs, we have those big 10-foot tubes. And the first 20 minutes, you're trying to break this stuff apart. You're just beating it with the paddle. And to give you an idea of what we do, so this is coming up soon. Let's see if I can bring it up. That's the 60-pound pot. That's one of the pots. You see, we got Babu over there supervising Eddie Kramer. And somebody's got to be the boss. But Eddie's cooking this 60-pound pot. That's 90 pounds of beef in that pot right there that he's going to bring in and make a dirty rice with. That's only one pot. We have another one with 60 pounds of beef in it. And then we do that twice. And that gives us our 1,500 meals. And get back to my comments. Do you use Worcestershire sauce? Good question, Ricky. You can. Some people prefer it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't. Only just because I just never think about it. But Worcestershire sauce does really well in this. Just watch it on Overpowered. Kelly LaRouche. Hey, Spuddy, thanks for sharing. I learned to make dirty rice from doing the COVID videos. All right, Kelly. Are you still selling sausage? If so, what days and hours? Okay, Kelly, good question. So what we're going to do is, I'm out of everything, but I'm getting ready to leave in a couple of weeks. So and then we have hurricane season. I'm not refilling. I'm not restocking yet. End of September, beginning of October, we're going to open up and we're going to be wide open for the next 4 months after that. Because this is when our prime time comes. Because summertime, I do not overload my freezers or my coolers. I run out a lot and the business is not good. And insurance companies don't pay if you lose it in the cooler or the freezer. I learned that with Hurricane Ida. So wait towards the end of the month, Kelly, and I will be restocked. Beginning of November, you'll be able to get anything you want. Okay, now we just got, and the hardest thing right now, if you can grind the meat, all right, grind the meat where you can put it in freshly ground, it's not, you won't have all this breakup problem. But if you're going to put it in the cooler, vacuum pack, buy the tubes, you're going to have this problem. David, bond land time after October? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. We're going to keep a few on hand all the time. It's that time of the year. Got to have those bond lands. Got to have the undoing. And this year, we're going to start making tasso, see if it sells. I experimented with making some. It was awesome. And I've cooked it in beans. I actually could have put it in here. I actually could have ground some, but I used the smoke bone to make my stock, so I didn't need it. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in a little bit of this liver. Okay. Just so I can start cooking in here. Now you see, when we do you use beef liver? I never have, but you know, if you have it and you like beef liver, use what you like. It won't hurt it. They were using chicken livers because that was the one that was most available on the plantation or on the farm. That's what people had a lot of chickens. Not everybody had a cow, so you didn't have a lot of beef liver, but everybody had chickens and everybody had the chicken livers to put in here. I definitely been looking to buy some tasso. Oh, Mike, we're going to have it, brother. Hey, Jackie. Okay. Boy, this is all coming out really good. We're starting to get a little gravy down in this pot now. So when we had the restaurant open, you had to call it rice dressing. KC's, we call it rice dressing. Because we do not put the livers and the gizzards in it. Why? Because I'll tell you what, if you put the livers and gizzards in it and you're selling it to the public, 50% gonna want, I don't like livers, I don't like gizzards. So you leave it out. Same thing if you're cooking 1,500 lunches, leave it out. If you want it with livers and gizzards, you call me, tell me, cook you a dish, enough to feed 15, 10, whatever, we'll cook it, we'll put what you want in there. I like it with the livers and gizzards in it, especially the livers. Do you cut or chop the liver before adding? Pam, good question. Hey, Trey, I actually chopped my liver. I didn't grind it. I just took my knife, my big chef knife, and I just chopped it up. I just like it that way. You can cut it if you want. You want to see the bigger pieces. It really is a personal preference. Some people, I used to do this when I was making massive amounts. I just pass it through the meat grinder. Same thing with the gizzards, if I was putting gizzards in it. Oh, Dino. Thank you, brother. Oh, hey, Gina. If you use beef or pork liver, do you think you would grind it first? I know that chicken liver should basically break down. If I'm using beef liver, I'd probably grind it first or chop it real well. Beef liver is going to be a little tougher. But you can use it. You can chop it fine. I wouldn't cut it in pieces. But it's still going to cook. It's not going to take long to cook. But I tend to stay towards the chicken liver, a little milder taste. And if you want to get really brave, put some pork liver in it. That's really a strong taste. Then you're getting close to making boudin. Hilton, how you doing? It was good seeing you yesterday. I know we didn't get a chance to chat very much, but we did a tour yesterday. We met on the buses, and really good to see you. And every now and then I put my tour guide hat on. What's the difference between jambalaya and 30 rice? All right, Donald, good question. Hey, Travis, what's up? So, jambalaya. Jambalaya is basically a dish that was created for leftovers. Take some rice, take some whatever you have left over, Put it in a black iron pot, mix it together, jumble it together. That's jambalaya. One definition. Another definition, jollof rice, where you're going to have vegetables, tomatoes, rice, and maybe some protein. Then you have the paella from the Spanish side. So jambalaya is like a little bit more refined. If I was cooking jambalaya here, I would have chopped pork. I would have maybe some chopped pieces of chicken. It would be more meaty as far as like chunks of meat. Dirty rice, I'm going to have my grind meat, and then I can pass anything I want through the grinder. Remember, this could be made with trash. Now I'm talking about the innards of the hog, or this could be made with gourmet meat. It's up to you. So jambalaya basically, and sometimes jambalaya is going to be a red rice. I wouldn't make this dirty rice with a red rice as a red rice, but if you want to make a red rice, dirty rice, knock yourself out. I wouldn't hate it. Buddy, you had a question about, what is the Milan? Cajun ham. So what we do, we take the appendix of the cow. Now we could buy artificial casing. I tend to stay away from artificial casing. It sounds like a plastic bag when you rattle it. But you take the appendix of a cow, which comes out about this big. They're actually about this long. We cut them into 3 or 4. And you stuff it with chopped pork. Basically, what you're doing, you're stuffing it with the same meat you make the andouille with. But when you bake, you smoke it, it's going to be about this big around. You're going to smoke it I smoke mine anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, depending on the weather, depending on just the dynamics I'm fooling with. Then I'll go ahead and when you cook it, you're going to cook it like a ham. You're going to cook it with some syrup in it, like a Coke or something, some Coke syrup. You're going to put maybe some steamed syrup on it, some brown sugar, whatever you want. Maybe pineapples, whatever you feel like putting together. And you seal that good. 300 degrees, 3 hours in the oven. It'll be the best damn ham you're ever going to eat. And it won't taste like an andouille. It's an amazing thing. You can take the same meat, the same exact thing you do for andouille, and it'll come out tasting like a ham. Totally different because of the way you cook it. It's amazing. And it's that sweetness from the Coke that you're going to bake it in. And when you're baking it, you made a little boat so that Coke stays in there, and it's the juices just flowing while you cook it. And it's steaming it. Makes it, it's good. You have to try it. Hollywood. And Hollywood, give us the prediction on the Saints this year. The official Saints man with Bobby Hebert. So it was actually the Cajuns' way of making a ham because it's all they had. My land is the Cajun gods. The house smells awesome. Oh, yes, it does, David. If I only had a nickel for every meat dressing sandwich that was served. Oh, thank you, Pam. Weddings for about 50 years or so. Hey, Janice. Oh, I tell Mike I said hello. So one of the hot things in Vacherie, especially in the West Bank of the river, and I'm guessing on the East Bank, I'm not sure, but you had dressing sandwiches. You would cook this dressing, wouldn't put no rice, and you'd put it on bread and make little finger sandwiches. Everybody that got married had that. I came to Vacherie, I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. But man, was it good. And we're going to make a po' boy with some of this tonight, too. Yeah, Ricky, you would actually cook the pho, as Cajun dressing, cook a little bit different. Not much. Same meats, same seasonings, but maybe a little difference. And you have a couple other seasonings you put in. Makes it a real good sandwich. And I'm going to add a little bit more liver in. And Jeremy says 5 wins at best. What you thinking, Hollywood? And then once we're going to set this, it's going to take 15 minutes to set so we can see the end result. We're going to talk about next week's show. Me and David Hubbard are going to be doing something on the history of the tornado that hit St. Philip Church. We're going to talk about that when I set this pot and what we're going to do next week. But it's going to be an awesome show. So stay tuned while we cover this pot and let it set. We're going to talk about that. Hollywood, 10-7. All right, you got your official prediction. I see a bet coming. I've never heard of dressing sandwiches. Okay, so Lucy was born and raised in Reserve. She never heard of it. So I think it's very unique to this area. I was born and raised in St. Rose, all around Destrehan area. Never heard of it. One thing I knew they did at weddings is drink. Oh, Crook, what's happening? Bob used to make a roux sandwich after adding his. Used to make a roux sandwich. Amen, brother. I know about Papa used to eat a hog lard sandwich, so why not? Hell, if you can make a hog lard sandwich, why not make a roux sandwich? Let's take a look at that pot. Okay, you see it's nice and brown. You got some really, and you're not getting a, notice in here, you don't have a lot of fat coming out. Let's talk about that. So I don't have a lot of fat. If you buy ground meat in a store and you're going to make this dirty rice, okay? Well, yeah, Rock. Then what you want to do, if you're going to buy the ground meat in the store and make dirty rice, try to find you some certified Black Angus beef. 80-20, 85-15 is a good mixture. This is what we use when we do the KC dinners, the Knights of Columbus dinners. Some of this meat, I don't care if it's 80-20 mixture, it throws a lot of fat out. And you'll have that fat just floating on the top. I probably could use a little bit more here, but I've got my oil to start with. I like it a little on the lean side. Because of the sirloin, I'm not throwing a lot of fat. Sometimes you get this cheap ground meat and you just have this fat floating. Not good. Marshall said he loves them dressing sandwiches. Oh, Rocky. With that good nose, I can smell that from Thibodeau. Hollywood got a nose too. Okay, Donald's asking about pho. In case anybody doesn't know what that is, what we call a Cajun dressing. We're going to cook that in the show pretty soon as we get closer to Thanksgiving. And it's actually the pho they say it's a Cajun dish, it's a French dish, but the name is a German name. It had that heavy pho. You get that heavy German accent. And he'll tell me if I'm right. All right, Lucy, be flirting rocking now. Oh, Christine. All right, we're starting to get a nice little color down here. And I'm starting to smell the liver in it. That's a good sign. Got to get my little food tracker. Kids visiting grandma for summer, bringing back some boudin and on do it. Seattle's the desert wasteland for Louisiana food. Absolutely. You can't get what we cook out here, what we eat out here. It's because of all the cultures we have. Like I had a lady from Philadelphia one time, and she wanted to know why we so unique. What makes our food so different? And I said, well, all the cultures come together. We all learn to cook from each other, no matter what culture you're from. And we all are neighbors, and we all party together, and we all learn from each other. She goes, we don't have that in Philadelphia. I said, that's why you don't cook like us. And it's a shame, but all our cultures have come together and bring in this great cooking. Oh, Breland, as you say, good with anything. Thank you, Breland. Hey, Donna. Oh man, and so you can't overcook this meat. My mama would kill it because she like her meat super duper cooked. Christine, make sure your leftovers make it. Oh, don't worry, it's all covered. You know your sister didn't check that out already. She didn't speed dial me on this already. I think the far comes from the term of forced meat, meaning the ground meat. And it does, David. It's the forced meat, which means ground meat, but that name, far, that when you get that heavy text, what I could see, that has something to do with the German pronunciation. But definitely cooked in the French world, German world. But the German world, definitely the sausage makers and the butchers of the land when they all came over. Oh, man. Woo-hoo. Now, I'm going to taste for seasoning. Remember, I said I had this meat seasoned already. So I got to see how much I'm carrying in here. And I'm also tasting to see how strong this liver is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Woo. We're gonna add a little bit more liver in. And chicken liver, you can usually put like a pound of chicken liver in here. Like I said, I like to bring in a little bit at a time, just to make sure. I'm starting to taste the liver in it now. And some people don't like the liver in their dirty rice. I feel sorry for you. You don't know what you're missing. Then it gets to you calling it rice dressing. Oh, Brian, what's going on, Brian? Now, this dish right here, you wouldn't think of it. People look at dirty rice and say, oh, man, you know what? It could be a really not healthy dish for you. That's not true. Depends on the meat you're putting in. You get a real fatty meat, you're going to have an unhealthy dish. But the way I'm cooking it right here, Lucy, that's what you said, baby. That's what we're going to do. We putting the whole, you want that in there too? You said the whole container. All right. So now we got a little bit more than a pound of liver in there. Let's see how it's going to come out. Use Parish rice for a lower carb rice. Thank you, Trey. Thank you for that information. I didn't know it was a low carb rice. But we got the beef. We have the beef in here. 3 ounces of beef. Beef is one of the most nutritious meats they have. People are always talking about how bad beef is for you and all that. You know, you can eat the fatty parts, the ribeyes and all, and they're awesome. I love them. But if you eat them every day, you're probably going to plug up and you're going to have some consequences. But if you eat beef once or twice a week, you have 21 grams of protein. This is just in 3 ounces, about the size of the palm of your hand. 8 grams of fat, 22 grams of protein. I mean, how much more you want? 0 carbs. And it has non-essential amino acids that are crucial for your body. And it's just an all-around good food and healthy food. Now we're going to take a look in that pot. Oh, yeah. Watch, when I put that water in, you see a little gravy building here. Oh. Make sure we got some good fire. Oh, yeah, we got a good gravy building in here. And let's bring our main camera back. Mark, we're still working on that tree bark dish. Right, you bring it over here, I'm going to cook that sucker. So then you have pork in here. You have 14 to 20 grams of fat, depending on how much pork fat you put in here. So that's going to be up to you. This one right here is going to be more on the 14 side. So pork does have a lot of fat, depending on what you put. If you use a lean piece of pork, you're going to have less. You have 20 grams of protein in that 3 ounces of pork. So you have just so much nutrition in here. Then if you get to the rice has 205 calories with about 4.3 grams of fiber. This dish right here is loaded with nutrition. And that rice, that's on a per cup of cooked rice. So if you fix yourself a cup of cooked rice, dirty rice, have your little side dish on it, you're going to have a really, really good meal. But use some good meat. Sharon, why is Parish lower in carbs? Sharon, my guess is it's going to be the way that they've changed the genetics in the rice. Just like you have jasmine rice. I use jasmine. That jasmine rice was developed over 20 years by LSU and the rice farmers of West Louisiana to become a quality jasmine rice. Trey, grown in Louisiana, developed by LSU, there you go, has a glycemic index of 41 versus 70 to 80 for white rice. It also has more protein. But Trey, thank you for that. I don't see it when I go to stores, but I will be looking for it. Dr. Let's see, John, can I set that with French bread? Oh, hell yeah, we're getting ready to fire it up in a little bit. So I will I will need a little bit more pork, a little more salt in it, and a little bit cayenne pepper, and a little bit black pepper, just to kind of kick it up a little bit. I was missing a little bit. And a little touch of sugar because we got to show our cane farmers a little loving. All right. Now we get ready to try this on some French bread. I found it at Walmart. I bought it in a store that bought 10 pounds human power vehicles worldwide. Okay. But I did not know it was genetically modified to be this healthy. Now, thanks for that information, Trey. I've heard of it, but you don't see it everywhere you go. Okay, here we go. Y'all know what time it is? Hey, Melissa. Y'all know what time it is? Man, it's French bread time. So this is one of the ways you can eat it. What's the side dishes? You want some PT pois with a roux, or roux peas, or awesome side dish. You want to meat? Smothered pork chops, smothered fresh sausage, baked chicken, fried fish, baked fish. You name it. Anything can be a side dish with this meal, and it doesn't take long to cook. Oh, Dino, this is gonna make one hell of a fresh bread sandwich. I'm letting it cool off a little bit. I don't want to light myself up. Okay, whoop, wrong stop. That's my measurement for my rice. I can't be messing that up. Okay. And now I'm gonna get a good taste of my liver. Now look, I knew I was gonna bring all that liver in. I just wanted to show y'all that you can just ease it in. It's okay. Man. Yeah. Damn the rice. Really, really taste that liver in there now. It's not overpowering. And this is what the difference between chicken liver and pork liver. If you were cooking this and making boudin, just pork, and you bring some pork liver in, you got to be real careful. Okay? Hey, Keith, you eat this sandwich right here, you don't dance? Man, there's something wrong, dude. Oh, man. Life is good. Oh, man, look at this gravy. Woo! And I got pepper in the air. You would never know if you didn't know about it. Is it better without rice? To me, it is, Dino. It is to me. I like it without rice. There's so many other things I can do with it. I'm late, but did you ground the gizzards too? Melissa, I didn't put any gizzards in. All I did was put the livers. Because I didn't feel like setting up my ground. I will not chop gizzards to put it in. I'll have to ground it. This meat was ground already. I wasn't dirty on my grinder just for a pound of gizzards. But if I put the gizzards in here, they would be ground. Get some of that juice out of that pot. See it on the side of that bread. Oh, my goodness. I must rather it like that. Don't get me wrong. It's good the other way. When I cook plate lunches, this is my #1 meal that I cook. Uh-oh. Look like my camera went fuzzy. All right. We're going to bring the water in. All right, take a peek in that pot. Now we just brought the water in, okay? And I don't know what happened to my camera. And all of a sudden it went fuzzy. Let me try something. Uh-oh. All right, we're gonna have to fight through this. I'll keep it down in the pot where it's clear. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this to a ball now. You wanna bring this to a ball. Let's see. Randy Bro. Oh yeah. So many people say this is their favorite dish. Best part about it is blurry, and that's the best camera I have. I don't know what's going on. I think I outdanced the camera. All right, want to get this stuff off. In the meantime, I'm gonna eat the rest of the sandwich. You see, we got a good color. We have a nice color in this pot. One of the things I'm bringing in a little hot sauce. Okay. Let's see if that camera adjusted yet. Okay. The camera gods are back. We're gonna bring this back. Then we have to taste for seasoning. In the meantime, listen, it's one damn good sandwich. Look, all the meat's going. What a shame. I didn't stuff it far enough. That was really good. And that is the original New Orleans French bread. That's I think it's Leinheimer. Really, really good French bread. So this right here, if you cook this, it freezes real well too. If you want to take some, put it in the freezer, it's really good. It freezes well. You could take it up, going to work, take it out, put it in the fridge. When you come home, pop it in the microwave, you're ready to eat, okay? Pasta is an option. I don't know, Donald. I tell you what, I wouldn't want it with pasta, but if you think you like it, it wouldn't be bad. It really wouldn't be bad. I did something one time where I did this right here, and I made I can't remember. I made it like a gumbo. I called it jambalaya. Came out good. I don't see why you wouldn't put pasta in it. I wouldn't put it because I'd rather it with rice, because it's just, I guess, my old tradition. Okay, now got a taste for seasoning. Here's the trick. You want this water, you want this right here, a little bit salty, a little bit spicy. Randy said he cleaned his glasses. Everything's clear now. Oh man. Throw the bread and get a spoon. Okay, a little bit more salt. Remember, it's got to taste a little salt. It's got to be a little salty. Because if you have it where it just has a good flavor, you're going to come out bland. The rice is going to suck up this seasoning. You have to remember that. Okay. Oh boy, it's getting better. Ooh. Okay. I'm ready. It's got a little piquant to it, so I think we got enough. Big boys, right? Big boys, it would be all over the technology. You got that right, Robin. He'd be have this thing all screwed up. Do you take care of the sugar? Did you take care of the sugarcane farmers? Mike, in case you missed it, one more time, brother. Got to get the loving to the farmers. It's almost browning time. Okay, now 8 cups of water, 4 cups of rice, or stock. Now, this is important right here. When you put this in, you want to keep stirring it. You don't want to, because if you just sit here and wait for it to come to a boil, what'll happen, that rice will start, the starches in that rice let out, and it locks up. And you're going to be over here trying to break it up. You don't want to do that. You don't have to stir it hard. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving a little bit. In other words, stir with love and care. Don't be abusing the pot. You see, I'm picking up all the stuff that dropped off on the table. Huh? Ooh, that was an onion that jumped out. It was brown. The sweetness in this onion. I did buy some sweet onions for this. The sweetness is in it. Oh, Lord, that was good. Okay. We'll take a look down here. Okay, then you'll be able to see what's happening. So this pot is coming to a boil. See, it's starting to boil now. Want to bring it to a good boil. And all the ingredients we put in, you don't have to put all these ingredients in. Use what you want to do. Glenn, how long you had your restaurant, Spuddy? The restaurant was open for 27 years. I've been here for 32 years. And believe me, it's more fun doing a cooking school, little catering, being a tour guide, making or doing sausage, than it is running the restaurant. It was good. I enjoyed it, but it's done, and I don't miss it. And I still get to see the people because they come by and want to do it. Okay. Stir like you make a rule. Good one, Donald. Okay, here we go. We're going to take this. I'm going to lower this fire to simmer. Put it right here. Set my watch for 15 minutes. While that's covered, it's going to be boiling there. It's going to be cooking. And that rice is going to start absorbing that water. And it's going to suck that water. And jasmine rice does a real good job. I'm thinking Parrish does too. I was having trouble with just regular rice you buy in the market. That some of them would come hard grain, some would be mushy, and some would be just right. It was really inconsistent. This jasmine has been awesome. So, but I will try the Parrish rice. So while this is setting, we're going to talk about the show next week a little bit. So next week, we're going to do a show. We're going to cook a chicken sauce piquant. David and I put our heads together, and we came up with maybe this would have been one of the popular foods at the time. Not so much for a festival, okay, but at the times, the time when this happened. The cooks at Kramer found a way to use all the carrots grown in local gardens. They would grind the carrots and cook them in with the dressing. One of those ingredients gave birth to the cultural taste. It was good. Pam, pretty soon we're going to have carrots and ground meat coming up. One of my favorite dishes. But I'll tell you what, now that you said that, I'm going to grind some of those carrots and mix in there. I'm curious about that. I think that would be awesome. Thanks for that information, because I didn't know that. But grinding those carrots in gives that little sweetness. But we're going to do that chicken sauce piquant. We're going to talk about the church and the tornado and the people who were killed, and kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about next week. Let me see. If I can get my little mouse working here. Okay. That was the old church. You can see the horse and buggies. This is a 1908 or 1909 picture. You can see the horse and buggies. This picture looked like it was taken from top to levee, which means the levee wasn't very high at that time. And that because before the 1927 levee was built. And that building on the left, that was the old church, was the church hall. That was the one that was destroyed. And at the time, this is the new church. That one was built. It was already there at the time. So it's going to be an interesting show. And if I can get these overlays off of here. Okay. I was having a little trouble with the technology talking about Big Zip. So that's going to be a very interesting show. And it's something that happened out here. David Hubbell's done he did a lot of research on this. And David, 1924, but it was in August, almost exactly 101 years ago. David did a phenomenal amount of research in years and put a program together, presented it, and actually spearheaded getting a plaque put in front of the church. So if you walk in front of St. Philip Church, there's a plaque that commemorates this event. I've had sauce pecan with many different veggies, many different versions. Glenn, you can make sauce pecan with anything. The main purpose for it at the time was, when I came up, it was more like a camp food, and it was cooked with wild game. And it would help get that wild taste out of the wild game. And it's also was slow cooking. It make that the wild game, because it was just tenderizing. And the guys would go hunting. You'd be cooking this all morning when they came out from hunting. Or you had a camp supper that night. The name of my parish is St. Philip. It's St. Philip is the parish. At that time of the tornado, we were actually St. Patrick's. The church may have been, I don't know if, David, you can tell me if the church was St. Philip at the time, but the area was called St. Patrick. I know that. But one of my favorite sauce pecans is a chicken sauce pecan, because you know why? Anybody can make it. Now, if you can find you some really tough pieces of chicken, that's going to make it better. To find you a hen, that'll go to some slow cooking, and then throw you some, I call it modern chicken, some young chickens in at the end, so that it'll just cook and be real tender. One of the things I like to cook, put in it, chicken legs or chicken drumettes, and also chicken wings. And if you have some chicken necks, that works really good too. Church was St. Philip and the area was St. Patrick. Thank you, David. And we're going to be jumping on that next week and have a lot of history. It's going to be a huge history lesson coming. And you're going to see David on the screen side by side with me while I'm cooking. And he's going to be in Alabama. I'm going to be over here. Okay. Yep, Donna grew up just a mile from St. Philip. That's right. As one of the homeboys. Hey, that Fauché blood runs strong. So one of the other ways you can cook this, we can sit in here and we waiting, but if you didn't want to wait, or you don't have the confidence in yourself to do this, cook your meat on the side in one pot. Take your rice cooker and let your rice cook. No problem. You do this both, two different ways, and then you bring them together and mix them. This spoon right here, you can see it's kind of got waves in it. This spoon is 32 years old. It's a spoon, one of my first spoons I bought. And when we made dirty rice, we had the rice pot and we had the meat. And we only were cooking for 25 to 30 people at a time. And we'd stir it with this spoon. Well, the spoon would actually bend. And I'd pull it out, straighten it out. I still have this spoon. And I still use this spoon. Now, I don't do this with it anymore. And that was the trouble. We didn't have a paddle. So if you tried to use these spoons, I was ruining all my spoons. And then once I learned to cook jambalaya, I started doing it this way. That's right, Donald. So, and I'm going to cover all this. That's one way to do it. And it actually comes out very good. When you do it this way, make sure you cook your meat long. You have make sure it's very juicy. You probably want a little bit more fat in the meat so you can get a good mixing in it. Keith, that's a light duty spoon. Hey, Keith, that's all I could afford when I started. Man, if you'd have seen what I started with, you would laugh. I had every piece of used equipment I could find. I get my hands on. And I made it work. If you wanted to take this and make sandwiches with it, very good. Right now, I could just take the meat and I could have served it over rice if I wanted to. Let's talk about side dishes. Fresh sausage. We're going to cook fresh sausage one night to show you how to smother, really do a good job with smothering fresh sausage. But fresh sausage, you want to make a good gravy. Remember I told you about the gravy goes on the dirty rice? If you make a fresh sausage, smothered fresh sausage or smothered pork chops, you can take that good side dish and use that gravy to put on your dirty rice. And if I'd had my old burner here, we'd be making a gravy right now. Because it's really easy to make that gravy. And if you're going to go buy a store-bought gravy, you can doctor it up. It's all right. Boy, it's nothing like a good gravy, a good homemade gravy, okay? Come up hard. It's still tough, Keith. Okay, anybody have any questions of any of this? Since it's the season, can we look forward to an alligator dish sometime soon? Pam, where can I get some alligator meat? I will do something with alligator. It's not my favorite meat. To me, it doesn't have any flavor, but I would do it. But one thing I like to do with alligator, you can make a good sausage with it. Miss Verna Amade, and Pamela, who I'm talking about, and everybody in fashion who I'm talking about, she watched all my girls. Miss Verna would make alligator sausage. Man, it was good. But let me tell you something. If you come in here and you go and buy alligator sausage, you go to New Orleans, they sell an alligator sausage. It only has to be 10% alligator. The rest of it could be anything you want. It could be chicken, pork. So doesn't mean it's actually alligator sausage. It's just got to have alligator in it. But if you mix the alligator 50-50 with the pork, makes an awesome sausage. Very good. And that's the way I actually like it. If you're going to cook it, it takes a long time to cook. The alligator meat is tough. And all I want is the tail. You can use the back and all that, temple meat, whatever you want. That's really, really tough. How do you keep it moist? Mine seems to dry up. The alligator, good luck. It's hard to keep moist. You're talking about the alligator, Doc? But it's going to be in the gravy you build for it. That you build the gravy and put it in. And hopefully that gravy, if you cook it long enough, that alligator will soak up some of that gravy, okay? Okay, thank you, Pam. And most of the gator meat that you're going to buy in the store, they're farm-raised alligators, so they're not raised in the wild, because we can't sell wild game. That's illegal. But what they'll do is they'll raise them on farms. That meat may be a little different because they feed them different, and that meat may be a little bit more tender. I'm not sure. I know the wild gator is really, really tough. But yeah, we will do that, Pam. And I'm glad you told me where to get it at, because, that's one thing I haven't cooked on the show. The dressing, how do you keep it moist? You saw when I put it in, the way I'm cooking it here, that dressing, because it's going to have a lot of water in it, and that's the key. They keep it moist. You don't want to overdo the water, but if you don't hit it just right, and this, especially when we cook in those 60-pound pots, we don't cook it like this. We cook the water out. If you cut your water short, it'll come out kind of dry. If you put too much water, you don't cook enough out, it'll come out mushy. If you hit it just right, that meat's going to be very, very moist. And it's just a matter of the right amount of water to the rice that you're putting in. And this is going to do it, Doc. If you cook it this way, I guarantee you it's going to come out moist. I'm going to have to make a chicken sauce piquant ahead to enjoy doing the show next week. I probably won't dance. David, you got to dance, brother. Look, you're not here live with me, so we could dance. But I love to cook, and cooking makes me dance, and I always have some music on, so I just really enjoy it. When I'm in my back kitchen and I have the radio on and I'm cooking, I do a lot of dancing. If you could watch me on camera, you would laugh. But I'm having a blast. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Cooking's supposed to be fun. So, Doc, I hope I answered your question about how to keep this moist. This right here, this way I'm doing it, you will come out with a moist, dirty rice. Another way, I'm using a pretty dry meat because I'm using that sirloin. If you get meat that's a little more fatty, that'll help moisten it up. But I'm trying to keep it lean because I like mine a little bit on the healthy side. So it's just a personal choice, okay? 3 minutes left, man. Tim Begnell, you look so skinny. Oh, thank you, Tim. I see you finally got them cataracts out. I see you can see clearly now. The rain has gone. And then this week, I had the blessing yesterday to be on the tour boats, on the bus to do tours, one of my other sidelines. And this is what I like about tours. You get to meet people from all over the world. They do the American Cruise Line. They tour up and down the river. That's one of the tours. Or some of them, they'll be touring up north. All over the country, they're touring in different rivers. But you meet these people from all over the United States, some from other parts of the world. And that's what I like about being a tour guide. It's just that you meet so many different people. And you never know what you're going to run into. It's like cooking this stuff live. You never know what obstacle you're going to run into. But have you published a book of your recipes? And if not, would you consider it? Mike, I've been working on that for about 4 years now. But my own fault, because I had too many coals in the fire. I never sat down My problem is to sit down and write. That's my problem. Number one, my problem is just to sit down. That's the whole problem. I'm not good at sitting. And another thing is, it's hard for me to write a recipe. Y'all see how I cook. I'm just putting a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I know basically what has to go in, but to write it in a recipe is really, really hard for me. And that's something I have to really overcome. But man, when I publish it, y'all definitely going to know. Because it's going to be out there. You're going to be able to buy it on Amazon. Okay, 1 minute left. Ooh, yeah. And also when I do a cookbook, I also want to have some history of the dishes. The way I was, damn Timmy. The way I want to cook it is each category, you give the history. You're going to do all your gumbos, different kind of gumbos. Give that history of gumbo and why we cook it, why we do what we do. I don't want it to just be a cookbook. I also want it to be a lesson, a little history lesson of why we do what we do. And family traditions also. And I'm going to have recipes from other families in here. He was on skinny cam. I changed to normal now. That's my buddy Timmy back now. But I find you better go back on skinny cam, old boy. Okay. We're just about done. Oh, you got it, brother. Watch when I open this pot, Doc. Watch when I open this pot. Okay, this is it. Let me put the camera on the pot. You see, there's a lot of moisture in here. This is what I'm talking about. And what you want to do now, you want to stir and start bringing this rice up. And you're going to let this set after. You want that moisture. All you did right here was help cook that rice. And you stir this rice up real good, and you can see this rice is very, very moist. And this is the ticket to it. This is the key. And you know we're going to get a little taste. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the cover back on it. And I'm going to let it set for about another 15 minutes. Fire is off. I've turned the fire off. Now, this is the way I like to eat it. When I stir it, it's ready to take out, as far as I'm concerned now. But if you let it set, it'll soak up some more of that juices. Absolutely, my brother, you can pre-order. Mike, for you, brother, and anybody that watched this show, you get a signed copy. Oh, oh. Y'all, make you do the moonwalk. Make you do the moonwalk. I can't do it, but y'all can't see how I'm not doing it either. Y'all can't see my feet. Lord, chicken liver, perfect. You taste that chicken liver in it. Moist, Doc, this is very, very moist. The rice is well popped. There's no hard rice. This is what I like about the jasmine rice. It's very forgiving. No parsley and green onion top. Yeah, I forgot to put them in. Green onions, I was out. And what I saw in the store, I wasn't buying. Hey, Lord, you got it, brother. Y'all, this is so much different than I used to make with my dishes in the store. And that was my number one meal, dirty rice or the rice dressing. But I couldn't put livers in it. Boy, with these chicken livers, man. They going from a Volkswagen to a BMW. Nailed it once again, brother. Oh, got a nice little peak going to it. Nice and lean, which I like. So y'all, dirty rice, rice dressing, Cajun rice. Call it whatever the hell you want. Call it good. And call it one of your next meals. And watch the video, how you set it. The key to this meal right here is setting this rice. If you can do that, you can get it. When is the next KC dinner so I can get some? Thank you, Marshall. KC dinners are going to come out All Saints weekend. That's Sunday, which I think is November 2nd. We're going to be doing it. So if you live in this area, the tickets are going to be going out soon. Get them. Those 1,500 tickets go out really fast. I think they do print 1,600, and they move fast. We do that twice a year. Woo! All right, y'all. Come on, Timmy Becknell. Come on over here. Bring your skinny cam over. Thank y'all for tuning in. Next week, the history of the tornado of St. Philip Church. Until then, love y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. God bless y'all, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you, Brian.
Don't get me wrong, I love my life. These concrete walls, these city lights. What I'm about to say, it won't make no sense, but I gotta get it off my chest. There's so much more